Hollywood is dying. More people watch YouTube on TV than other streaming platforms. But then if you look at the way that culture is moving, it actually makes a lot of sense. YouTube just turned 20, but it's not what it used to be. It's no longer competing with social medias like TikTok or Instagram. It's entering a completely different category.
People are looking for compilations. They want something that's 2 hours long, right? 3 hours long.
Creators need to start thinking about their content, not as individual pieces of content. The algorithms have changed. Today, any channel, small or big, can get discovered with one video by following these new strategies. You look up any big brand, you're gonna see these very corporate feeling brands. Think about the psychology of someone who is on YouTube. Literally nobody is going to YouTube to watch corporate content. It feels like an ad. In this episode, we're breaking down the most important changes happening on YouTube and what creators and brands should be doing that no one is talking about. So if Neil Mohan is saying YouTube is the new television, what does that mean for brands?
If YouTube's new television, then brands need to become the new...
When was the last time you went to the movie theater?
Oh man, that's a good question. I definitely haven't gone back to the movies ever since we had the baby. Now that I'm trying really hard to remember, I can't even remember the last movie I saw in theaters.
Wow, it's been that long? Well, I've been asking that question to quite a few people, and it seems like a lot of people have the same answer.
They haven't been in a long time.
Yeah, they haven't been in a long time, or they can't remember the last movie they watched out in a movie theater. I actually got interested in that question, like why are people not going to the theaters? And I had to do a little bit of digging. In 2024, cinema, like movie ticket sales, have been down like 60% from the previous decade. I also read recently, I saw on LinkedIn, more people watch YouTube on TV than other streaming platforms.
I saw that statistic. He also said that the TV screen is now the number one place where people watch YouTube.
Is that true?
That's true. Yeah.
Is that true?
Apparently that's true.
It's not true for me.
When I first saw that, I definitely did not believe it because we carry our phones everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
That's hard to believe.
You can literally watch anywhere from your phone. But TV, you have to be in your house. You have to be at home to watch on the TV screen.
Yeah.
So how is it possible that the TV screen beat the mobile?
Maybe it's all those TV screens that are playing at the gym or at the office or at Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know.
And turns out I found this really interesting metaphor where people were talking about the difference between lean forward and lean back viewing. When you're watching YouTube on your phone, you're leaning forward, right? Like you're literally hunched over looking at this tiny screen. But when you're watching on the big screen, then you're usually leaning back onto the couch. Usually you're relaxing. Usually you're trying to wrap up your day. Your state of mind is very different. The point of being passive is why the TV won, because you can just leave something on the TV and just set it and forget it all day long. Literally what you said about the gym, but take that and put it into every single household. Think about like whenever you come to my place, we have like Bluey on or something.
Right.
I bet the kids shows are the leading shows that are racking up those minutes. When a parent is looking for something for their kids, people are looking for compilations of Cocomelon. They want something that's 2 hours long, right? 3 hours long. They want something that is just looping because you don't want to keep coming back to the remote and try to make another decision. Like, what do I watch next? You just want that thing going on for days.
I feel like that statement has a lot of issues in it.
It's terrible to say, but that's what most people are thinking.
Just want to put that out there. I don't know if that's the best parenting tactic.
No, it's unhealthy for sure, but you can't argue that it's reality. What do you watch on the big screen?
Well, I don't have a TV currently.
What?
So I don't actually watch things on TV.
Okay,
but
that's probably healthy.
When I'm with my girlfriend, she has a TV and we'll put YouTube on. It's usually music sets. You've seen those like really vibey, like synthwave, and they just play like music behind it. It's like music for coding at 3 a.m. or music for focus.
I love those.
I put those on just for the vibes. I think that's an interesting thing also. Maybe this is why lean back content feels more passive. I find it hard to believe that when the TV's on, people are actually paying attention because they're focused on their phone. So they're usually watching TV while scrolling. But if you're watching something on your phone, you can't scroll at the same time. There's this big, bold claim going around that Hollywood is dying. That was super interesting because we love movies. You know, growing up, that was our favorite thing to do as a family. We would movie hop. We would literally get dropped off at the movie theater in the morning with our cousins. We'd buy a big thing of popcorn that's a refillable.
Big refillable
and then
bucket.
we would go watch Chicken Run, and then we'd run across and go watch, I don't know, whatever. Dinosaurs. Go run and watch Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
You know? We
Alien vs. Predator.
We watched 3 movies in a row.
I don't even know how our attention span allowed us to do that.
I think our parents loved it because they're like, all right, they're gone for 6 hours. Let's go take care of business or something, go to work. That was such a fond memory for me growing up because sure, it was watching content, but we did it together, you know? It was, there was like 10 cousins nerding out, making jokes. Like we would quote these movies all day long. There was a very communal feeling about going to the theater and watching these movies together. And to hear someone say that Hollywood is dying, it is a little bit confusing at first. But then if you look at the way that culture is moving, it actually makes a lot of sense. Number one, I think a big one is that a lot of people find subscription services are not providing them a good experience anymore.
In what way?
So many people are canceling Netflix subscriptions, canceling Hulu subscriptions. I mean, inflation is a real thing. We all know that now. But the prices are going up pretty substantially. Netflix used to cost, I don't know, less than $10, right? To have all access. You can share with any friends you want. Your ex probably has it and you're still using it like 6 years later kind of thing. But now I think it's $15 or $16 just for the base. And it restrict you on household you can have it on.
I get that text message every night. Everyone in our family's using it.
Which is so interesting. And then I think about it, like it's restricting TV screens. If they can't watch Netflix, what are they going to watch instead? They're going to go somewhere else. Yep. So a lot of these Hollywood films that are put on Netflix, people can't access them anymore, or you can't find the shows that you want to. You know, I love anime. One of my favorite animes ever is Jujutsu Kaisen. And I was super stoked when I saw this Reddit post that it came to Netflix. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to rewatch this show. I go on Netflix, season 1 is there, and there's no season 2. Why is that a thing? Like, why don't they just put everything in one place? And so it's just so hard to find what you want to watch on the subscriptions. You have to get another one. I have to get a Crunchyroll one and a Netflix one if I want to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. Even though these subscriptions aren't that expensive, it's just so inconvenient. And I think it makes people distrust or just get fed up with these services and they don't want to use them anymore.
Yeah. No, I totally feel you there. It's the licensing wars and everything. I mean, one of my all-time favorite shows, The Office, used to be on the Netflix.
Mine too.
And I would just put it on as background noise.
Yep.
Whenever I walk by the living room, I just like catch a glimpse at a scene and just chuckle and then keep going. But it was taken off of Netflix. And then I had to find out where is The Office now. I found it was like on Peacock at one point, but wherever it is, like I was just so sad. It's not just that show though. Yeah. So many different shows are just moving around. And so you have to constantly hop around different services. I saw the stat where it's like in the US, the average family holds like 4 subscriptions at one point or something like that. We try not to do that. We try to hop around sometimes, but it's getting annoying. Just like remember like to cancel this one and go for that one.
I know we've chatted about this a lot. That means piracy is coming back. The old LimeWire days, the old Pirate Bay days.
Pirate Bay.
People are going to alternative platforms or avenues to get what they actually want to watch. Go to things that are free, like YouTube. Going back to The Office, most of what I watch about The Office is just YouTube clips.
That's true. I watch it on YouTube now.
The Office YouTube channel is crazy. It's so good because they just put all these clips on and they compile like, oh, these are the best moments from Andy doing this or Michael doing that. Oftentimes I don't want to watch the full episode, but they're just moments that I just want to remember and come back to. And they just get fed to me in my YouTube algorithm. I love it.
So zooming out, big trends are the decline of Hollywood, movies, going to theaters, watching movies on your big screen, and the decline of streaming. And so what is there to fill the gap, right?
There's a huge void.
Obviously, YouTube.
Or social media in general. There's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's Facebook, you know. Of all the platforms that I just listed, I think only one of those really prioritizes actually connecting with the creator, and that's YouTube. We bring up this story a lot because I think it's super compelling, but VidCon a couple of years ago, one of our friends mentioned that he went to VidCon and all the YouTube talks packed. You know, people love to come see the creators they know. They want to connect with them. They want to see them live on stage. There's an area for TikTok creators. He said he walked into the stage and it was empty. Even for the biggest TikTok creator on the platform, 15 million plus followers.
I love that YouTube is preparing for that move because they're giving the audience ways to watch with the creator, encouraging people to watch together. Even though we're all remote and digital, they're trying to foster that sense of community that we're kind of losing from the physical theater. For everyone listening here, you're probably wondering, what can you do to position your channel, your business, your media company to take advantage of this opportunity? So the first thing we can't ignore is the habit of watching. Lean forward, more engaged, lean back, more passive, more long form. What can you do for your content to create a longer watching experience? Let's say your videos are only 2 minutes long. If the video ends, then YouTube is just going to automatically play the next video, right? It might not be yours, could just be someone else's. But if you were to take 10 of your 2-minute videos and string them all together, then now you have a 20-minute video. String as much of your content together as you can. Obviously, make it good. Right? Don't just like slop garbage stringing together.
Right.
Like make it valuable. Try to go for playlists. Try to go for compilations. What content do you already have that you can repurpose and string together?
Yeah, I think one of the most viral and great case studies of that working is from a creator called Ryan Trahan. He traveled from Europe to America on a penny. And that was a very viral format that blew up for him on YouTube. And then he decided to just post another YouTube video that followed up with it, where he just put them all into one giant video. And then I think that video got more views than all of the other ones combined, because people just wanted a long movie, like let's sit down and just watch this whole journey on the TV screen. And I think actually that leads nicely into one of the next ways I think a lot of YouTubers or creators need to start thinking about their content is not as individual pieces of content. Start to think about your videos in a series.
Remember when we were kids, every Saturday morning, we would watch the same shows. It was always like Pokemon or like Jackie Chan Adventures. It's always the same format, right? You got the theme music in the beginning, like in the middle, there's a break. Who's that Pokemon? And like, you just expect the same things. Mm-hmm. That's how you build loyalty to a show. The expectations are always met. And so we're always so satisfied. But imagine if you're watching someone's YouTube channel and like one week it's a vlog and the next week it's like a product review, and then it can get all over the place. Like too much variety means that we don't look forward to anything. And so I think that if you can find a format that you're comfortable with, that fits who you are and that your audience loves, that is just the perfect content audience fit.
What are some of your favorite formats right now that you've seen on YouTube?
Well, one of my favorite formats is the fixer format. Basically, you're using your expertise to critique or fix or sometimes roast something.
It's funny you mentioned the fixer format because this is a memory, maybe you have this memory too, of our dad. Very interesting that our dad never used to listen to music on the radio. Like,
really?
What he would always listen to was AM radio, but he always listened
to NPR, right?
He listened to NPR, but he also listened to this one specific lawyer on AM radio all the time.
Yeah.
Bill Handel. I still remember his name.
Bill Handel, yeah.
Bill Handel on the radio. Mm-hmm. And that was a fixer format.
That's a total fixer format.
He was a lawyer who people would call in with their problems and he would help them diagnose their law problems. And I'm willing to bet the reason that my dad listened to him a lot is because during that time period, he was really trying to figure out legal things with real estate and taxes.
Yeah, and patents.
Like
he and his bros were big into patents.
That was his business back then. And so it's interesting that like these content formats that we're talking about, they've been around for a long time. They're just in different mediums now. And that was, you could call that a podcast back then, is AM radio. But now we're able to translate that to video. And it's so much more entertaining, more engaging to listen to because you can actually put a face to the person. I've heard my dad listen to Bill Handel on the radio for years. And to this day, I have no clue what he looks like. I know what he sounds like. We have this term in our program that we call it becoming more three-dimensional. When you get to see the person, you get to hear how they speak, how they interact with someone in person as well. Like some of these fixtures, they bring the person live with them. That amount of trust that you build from watching someone do it, it is exponentially higher than just having someone explain it or just listening to them on a podcast.
But if you have expert knowledge, then it's easy to demonstrate. And people love watching personalities. They love seeing how people think.
For a long time, when you heard the word like creator or influencer, I guess has a worse connotation, but you normally think of very young people who are dancing or making vlogs or pranks or comedy stuff. But most of the content creators that I watch on a regular basis, they're like 40 plus probably. But I listen to them because there's so much wisdom that they can give us. Like Dr. K, another great example. I think he's almost 40 or maybe 40. But the people who have more experience, those are the types of creators that we need. Those are the creators that I want to listen to. And people want to hear that valuable information. And this is why I think YouTube right now is the opportunity for all creatives, especially the ones that are educational. Everything that you create from a YouTube video can be redistributed to all the other mediums. You can record a YouTube video like we're doing right now. You can throw it into an AI tool. It'll give you a transcript. So if you want to read it, you can read it. You can also just take the audio and put it on a podcast. You can listen to it. But if you also want, you can watch it on a video.
It's like the new age of radio, but with video.
Yeah, it's so much better.
I kind of think about going to the movies as an escape. Sure, you're watching a piece of art, right? But when you're done watching the movie, you're back to life, right? You're back to your problems. If you're poor, if you're obese, relationship problems, whatever it is, those problems are 24/7. And if you are a person who's teaching others how to solve those problems, then you get to be in their ear 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm going through problems or like working through a relationship problem or my mental health problems or something, I am consuming that content in like every other waking minute from work. Like that is top of mind and I'm trying to work through it. And the people that I spend the time with listening to that content, I come back to them daily. I'm waiting for their uploads, because they're there to help me. And this is just something we haven't been able to access as humans before, right? People go to YouTube to solve their problems. And I think that's just something unique to the platform that not a lot of other platforms can really do. Like you don't go to TikTok to solve your problems. You don't go to Instagram, you go to YouTube, and it's a very specific place.
I would say the best part about this is that sure, it's saturated, but it's all mutually beneficial. Let's say that you're in the, business niche. A person who watches business podcasts will watch all the business podcasts if it's good.
Yeah.
So like when I was trying to learn about self-improvement, I'm watching Andrew Huberman, I'm watching Diary of a CEO, I'm watching any podcast that talks about self-improvement. The cliche quote that everyone uses is the rising tide lifts all the boats.
If someone's doing well, you can do similar content and you'll end up on their suggested. You'll also end up on the homepage because the algorithm has gotten so good at dialing in exactly what you want to watch. And if you're consuming everything about that topic to learn and to get immersed in it, odds are if you make content in that realm, you're also going to appear there.
So one of the things that's really underrated that actually helps your content perform better on the television screen is to just put more effort into building out your physical studio. Because when you're putting things on the TV screen, you are creating an atmosphere for people to vibe in, for people to immerse themselves in, even if it's a podcast. Like we were talking to Jay Alto today, and he was talking about how when Joe Rogan moved his podcast to Texas, everybody who noticed that the podcast setting changed, they were just all up in arms, right?
Yeah.
Like, got to change that back.
Which is so funny because
it's an audio first
yeah, thing.
But people notice that stuff. That is the Joe Rogan experience, right? It's the audio, it's the man, and it's the visual aesthetic.
This goes with the leaning forward and leaning back. Literally just lean back a bit more when you shoot your content. Move the camera back a little bit so that we have a bigger shot. When you're watching, let's say, someone, I know you have a pretty big TV. One of our close friends has a 120-inch TV or something at home?
Yeah.
It's massive. That thing is like taking up the entire
like
wall.
100.
And you can imagine someone vlogging the way they used to. That is going to be like, whoa. You're going to see every single crater and every pimple, every pore. And it just feels better on TV. Even content that's a little bit more pushed back, it will look good on your phone too, because phones are also getting bigger. So if Neil Mohan is saying YouTube is the new television, what does that mean for brands? What practices do you think brands should start adopting?
Well, I think if YouTube is the new television, then brands need to become the new studios. They need to become the new showrunners.
Tell me more about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a long time, a lot of brands have been paying agencies, whether it's to run ads or for digital marketing. Now we're seeing lots of trends of people bringing it in-house, building in-house media companies, bringing creators in-house. It's a trend that I'm very excited about. So now when you bring a creator into your company, that creator gets to immerse themselves in your culture, in your products. They get to know what your vision is. It's just way more collaborative that way, as opposed to paying for an agency that just feels cold and distant.
Right now, I think one of the smartest moves for brands or businesses is to think of yourself as a media company. The content that you make is going to determine whether or not you succeed in the future, because people use social media, they use YouTube to discover brands. I think there's a really interesting study. 87% of people say that they trust YouTube videos as a source of truth when it comes to buying products and services. They go to YouTube to learn, is this product worth it? What reviews have people said about it? What kind of content do they have? Do I trust this brand enough to want to invest my time and money into it? You mentioned this startup idea I thought was really cool. They always talk about this term PMF, product market fit. It took me a while to understand, like, what are they talking about? What is PMF? I come from the YouTube world. I just finally connected the dots. I was like, oh, PMF is just your target audience. It's just knowing who you're making videos for. And I was like, that's so interesting. One of the best ways for a startup to find their PMF is to just make content on YouTube, because you're going to attract the right audience. That's just such a no-brainer. I think the most successful startups right now are the ones that make good content. There are a few ways I think that creators right now can really take advantage of this new shift in attention that brands are going to platforms like YouTube. If you go to YouTube right now and you look up any big brand, your favorite brands, I know the example that Colin and Samir use all the time is Target, going to the YouTube channel or going to the YouTube channel like a Notion or I don't know, ClickUp or something like that. You're going to see these very corporate feeling brands. Think about the psychology of someone who is on YouTube, like you or me. Literally nobody is going to YouTube to watch corporate content. It feels like an ad. People are coming to YouTube to watch content that inspires them, that entertains them, that educates them. And we know that right now, there are over 1 billion hours of YouTube watched every single day. It's a lot of hours. And this is kind of a double-edged sword. The algorithms have changed. I think Jack Conte, CEO of Patreon, he called it the age of the follower. 7 or 8 years ago, I would actually see the videos from channels that I subscribe to. But nowadays, if you go to your YouTube homepage, you're going to see a lot of channels on your home feed that you don't follow. A lot of creators aren't even subscribing to channels anymore because they rely and they trust that the algorithm is still going to feed them that content. The algorithm has moved from follower-subscriber relationship to now like a viewer-focused interest kind of feed. One of the smartest moves for both creators and brands is just to learn how to make better content.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like like make better content. But honestly, in this age, content is product. Your content needs to be good. You can't emphasize it enough. If your content is good, people will talk about it, they'll share it, and your content will get more reach by word of mouth than any algorithm. Like, sure, the algorithm will boost your virality and you'll get like millions of views, in like a month or so, and then your content will be forgotten the next day. But if your content truly has timeless value, then people will talk about it over and over again. That's the content you always say, like, who's watching in 2025, right? 5 years later, you're still coming back to this amazing piece or this amazing series just to share and watch it again.
And I think if brands right now want to adapt to this new style of content, it still does cost a lot of money to build an in-house team. But I think what moves that brands are starting to pay attention to a bit more, why would a brand want to build an in-house team if they can just partner with a creator who is already, one, gained a lot of traction, maybe they have a good following, maybe that following is aligned with what the brand wants, maybe it's the same audience as a brand, and work with them in a partnership instead of building their own media team. Because that creator can probably deliver way more value than the brand could go from zero. Elon Musk on X has way more following, way more influence than Tesla or SpaceX because people connect with people. YouTube is a platform for creators. It's a creator-first platform. People want to connect with creators. And so the brands that are smart are actually positioning their content in front of a person. And they're finding creators who can embody the values that they have and letting them do the marketing for them. It's genius.
The classic timeless example would be Nike and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did not found Nike.
This is before YouTube days too.
This is way before, yeah. Totally embodies everything it is that Nike stands for. If you can find your Michael Jordan, then you're set to take advantage of this opportunity.
And just to be clear, we're not talking about just paid sponsorships. We're not talking about Grammarly is going to pay us $5,000 for this 1 minute integration in my video and then never talk to me again. What I'm talking about as a creator is start to think about long-term plays. It's this symbiotic relationship that I think is the future that not enough creators are exploring and brands are not exploring either.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories that's always inspired me is how Samsung invested in Colin and Samir. Both of them were building the same audience and Samsung just believed in them. And so that was a mutually beneficial relationship. And it was just so inspiring to see. And I started to think like, how do we build our audience to align with our dream company? And so you can start making content to align with a brand that you would one day want to work with.
Another example that always comes to mind is one of our good friends, Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is a YouTuber who did productivity content for a long time, and he loved Notion. He was all in because he started building products like with their tool. And he started a second channel called Thomas Frank Explains, where he only talks about Notion. That channel drives more views and engagement than Notion's channel, which has tutorials in it. His channel is helping teach people Notion better than Notion is doing. That just shows the power of a creator-led content. People trust Thomas Frank already because of all the credibility and the proof he's built as a productivity expert. We kind of followed a similar trajectory because I love Notion, you love Notion. They've been great with us. We've made content and products with them as well because we love the products. But when I was building those products for them, I got to talk to a lot of their engineering team, their product team, and they would even tell me, man, you actually use this tool better than a lot of our own team members use it. And that's, I think, one of the biggest advantages you have as a creator. Brands are the ones building the products, but they're not the ones that use the products necessarily. The ones who use the products have way more insight and knowledge about what people actually need it for and why they want it. So it makes a lot of sense, actually, why Thomas Frank is such a better face for Notion than anyone at Notion could do. No one at Notion has used Notion to build a 7-figure business, but he did it. Who better to speak about how to use this tool than someone who actually got success from using it?
I love that Thomas Frank analogy, although I will say that Thomas Frank is not an in-house creator. And so he doesn't actually have the full ownership that he should have. So I think the future of a creator brand partnership, it needs to include ownership. So great example would be Alex Hormozy in School. Total equity, total ownership. He's pumping out content for School, and it's good because it helps both of them. They both have shared ownership. Iman Gaji and WAP, right? Ownership, mutually beneficial. And then also us as in-house creators with our company.
What would you say are some of the best ways that creators can position themselves better for brands?
Yeah, as a creator, you have so much leverage. You are the community builder. You are the product manager. You are the customer success manager. You are all these things because you have such a deep connection to the audience. So when a brand is trying to work with a creator, they're looking at the entire audience that you bring. So that's number one. Number two, I would say you are already obsessed with the content, right? You've gone through years of figuring out the right things to say, the right packaging, the right message to attract your audience. That is a learning curve that the brand doesn't need to go through because they can leverage you.
Not only that, like the trust that comes with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are putting videos out, hopefully on a weekly basis, and building up like this beaker of trust.
And along with that, probably number three is that you've built systems to get the content out there. You found the format that works. You found the topics to talk about that work.
There's probably just a few skills that you should consider working on or learning as a creator so that you can navigate these partnerships a bit better. So just understanding how to pitch your own ideas or pitch your business and your value you have, understanding what the brand actually wants. I would be, as a business owner, stoked to work with someone who came to me, told me what problems I was having and said, I can do all those things and it'll get you this, this, and this.
So the flip side of this is what can brands do to position themselves to work better with creators?
I think to explore that, it's first to understand what does a brand have that creator wants? I would say capital. Brands are usually the ones who can fund these creators with sponsorships or brand deals, partnerships, stuff like that. As a brand, you also have resources such as data, analytics. You have unique access that a creator might need to make better content. Let's say that I'm Fujifilm and I want to sell more cameras. There's this creator out there, Jay, the Fujifilm lover. He makes amazing content about Fujifilm cameras. I would love to give Jay some Fujifilm cameras, equip him with the latest updates about the cameras, get him in touch with the product team of the camera since he uses it on a daily basis, and help him make the best content possible. Those are the things that I as a brand can provide. This creator already loves the product that I'm using. They love solving the problem that my product can solve. How can I help them do it better? I think it's much more of a relationship than how most creators are thinking about it is very transactional. It's like, oh, this is a $5,000 deal. I'm going to get my paycheck and then I'm never going to talk to this brand again. But brands are looking for long-term engagements. They're actually looking for that. They want that.
So I think the future is that if you're a brand, you can find a creator that fully embodies everything that you stand for. You bring them in-house, you give them ownership. That is the foundation of a long-lasting partnership.
It is very scary for brands to invest in creatives like that. Social media is, at the end of the day, kind of a gamble. You might invest all this money into a creator and then the videos just tank. It doesn't do well. But when it works, it really works.
It's no different from Hollywood. Like you can just spend your entire budget to get Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie, and the movie will tank. And you will cry, but that's just how it goes. That's the beauty of the creator economy is now we all have the opportunity to participate. So there's a lot of opportunity, whether you're already a creator or you're thinking about joining the creator economy. If any of these topics that we talked about are foreign to you, you have no idea what a format is, you have no idea how to package your videos, titles, thumbnails, no idea how to come up with great ideas, then check out YouTube Production School. Link in the description below.